Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would do a follow-up video to my haul videos. A lot of you have been asking me for this. I think this is probably one of the more valuable type of videos out there on YouTube. It's like, great, I show you the stuff that I buy, but if I don't follow up on it, it really is kind of useless information, or it's just fun. It's just entertainment instead of it being actually informative. So I thought I would go way back, since I think I've only ever done a haul video, a haul follow-up video, maybe once before. So I thought I would go all the way back to January. I figured why not start at the beginning of the year. I did 2 haul videos in January, one on the 19th and one on the 24th. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about each product that I hauled. I think I've actually either talked about a lot of these products either in my favorites or just kind of sprinkled around in different videos here and there, but it's probably valuable to put it all into one video. At least that's what I thought. So I hope you find this video informative. I will link to these 2 haul videos down in my description box if you are curious, and let's get into it. All right, so the first product that I covered in my January 19th haul is the Viseart Grand Pro palette. Now, I love this palette. I think it actually ended up in one of my favorites. I'm a huge fan of Viseart shadows, and this is just like a book full of their matte shadows. It seems to fill the gap for a lot of other eyeshadow palettes that I have. If I just need a simple brow bone highlight, if I just need a solid like matte black, this has come to the rescue. And I have a lot of the other like smaller 6-pan Theory palettes, and I'll pop out 1 color or 2 colors from there and replace them with colors in here if I feel like, you know, I just need a little bit of a different look or whatever. So this palette has really been indispensable. I absolutely love it. I know it was limited edition. I don't think it's sold out very quickly, but if it's still available, I will link to it down below. All right, next up I have Melt Cosmetics She's in Party Stack and also the Empty Palette. So this is the Empty Palette. Let's just talk about that first. So I love the idea of being able to put your, individual shadows from your melt stacks into a palette. What I was hoping was that this was like hinged, so it would open up like a book, but instead it just sort of separates like 2 lids. And that I'm not a fan of, because then I just have like all these pieces everywhere. But if this did hinge, I understand that it would also be kind of unwieldy, because it would just be one gigantic thing that you'd have to carry around. So I get that too, but I don't know. I feel like maybe it could have been designed a little bit better. Also, this is very, very like thin aluminum. It almost feels like a cookie tin, and it's a little bit flimsy. I would not have minded to pay just a little bit more for something a little bit more substantial. So that's my thoughts on the palette. Otherwise, I love it that I can put my stacks in here and use them this way. It's just much more convenient than having those individual pans kind of everywhere. All right, so the She's in Parties stack. So that is this one right here, these 4. This one is the gunmetal. Gunmetal? Is that that one? The She's in Party stacks is here. I had some not great experience with these shadows. I found this one, I think in particular, to be very patchy. This one didn't work that well, but these 2 I liked and worked out really nicely. But for me, it was kind of like an inconsistent stack. But admittedly, I think I tried this stack maybe twice. I really didn't give it like the good college try and like really go in there with like different brushes, different primers or whatever. I really didn't go that deep with it. I tried it a couple times and was like, it's not really working for me. And then I just kind of set it aside. So I haven't really used it since my first 2 attempts with this stack. And so maybe I should revisit this because I really like melt shadows. So anyway, that's my quick 2 cents on the Melt palette and the Melt She's in Party stack. All right, next up I have a Chanel blush. So this was the limited edition Jardin de Chanel Camelia Peche blush. This is long sold out. Again, it was limited edition. Embarrassingly enough, I have never used it. Probably because it's limited edition. It has this beautiful, beautiful imprint of flowers. It has 2 colors in there. It's got this beautiful sparkle. Anyway, I really feel like I should use this, but I just haven't. I haven't had the heart to kind of go in, and I've swatched it. So it's like, it's already ruined, but I haven't had the heart to really go in there and like ruin this beautiful flower imprint. But I really do like the color from swatching it. I just haven't used it. And then next on my list is the Tarte Clay Play Face Palette. You guys have heard me talk about this a gazillion times. I love this palette. I love this shade in particular for contour, and that's generally why I reach for this palette. But the other powders are great. When I have used them for like a simple like neutral eyeshadow look, these shades have come in really, really handy. This is a little bit too dark for me unless I do want to use it as an eyeshadow, but there are plenty of eyeshadows up there. And this one is nice for like a warmer bronze. So I'm a big, big fan of this palette. This was also limited edition. I don't think you can get this anywhere at the moment, but I really love this one. All right, next on my list, I have two bareMinerals palettes. I remember going out and getting these after I purchased the bareMinerals Hidden Treasure palette. That was their limited edition for holiday. So I had purchased that late in 2017 and I really, really loved it. I fell in love with that palette. So I ran out and got these at Ulta, and the same, I really, really love these shadows. I have not used these palettes as much as I would like, but they're beautiful. I love the bareMinerals shadows. I think they work wonderfully. I think these could be called the most boring eyeshadow palettes in the entire world. But I think if you just want everyday looks, if you want work appropriate look, if you just want like a simple eye look, I don't think you can go wrong with these at all. They're just so, so lovely. I am not sure if these are still available. I think I saw this one for sale at Ulta, or maybe it was the one that I don't have. So I love these bareMinerals palettes. All right, the next product on my list is the Stila Shimmer and Glow Grace. I have not touched this since I purchased it, so I have absolutely no feedback for you. They get really good reviews, but I haven't used it. So I'm definitely gonna have to whip this out and try it before it goes bad. And then next on my list, gosh, I just have like a whole like slew of highlighters. So I purchased two of the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powders. I really like these Wet n Wild powders. Have I used these? Not very much, but they are very nice. This one is a little bit dark for me. This is the Golden Flower Crown, and it's a little bit dark for my skin tone, but I like the texture of these. I think they go on really, really nicely. And then this one is Blossom Glow. This one I haven't really used actually at all. I think this one is actually a little bit too white for my skin tone, but again, like just super, super pretty. So those are the two Mega Glow highlighting powders from Wet n Wild. I think these are still available. I think you can get them. I don't think these were limited edition. And then I got two highlighters from Laura Geller. I purchased Gilded Honey because this is like an old favorite and I just never ever had it. And this one I have used quite a bit. This one is really nice. I have used this one quite a bit. It is a little bit too dark for my skin tone, but it's okay if I bronze up my face. And it just has like a really nice texture. You can see it's like a little bit shinier than the Wet n Wild. So this is a very intense highlight. And I also purchased the Peach Glow, which is this one. And while this one may actually be a closer kind of tone for my skin tone, for some reason this is more obvious on my skin. So I don't wear this as much as the Gilded Honey, but it is really pretty. And again, I really love the finish, just super high shine. And then I got these limited edition Dior Nude Skin Luminizers in Hollow Gold and Hollow Pink. And I don't like these as much as I thought. It's a combination of the finish and the color. So the colors are, I don't know, just a little bit off. This one is Hollow Pink. And see, it's very white. And those are the ones that are just a little too obvious on my skin tone. So that one is not great. And then when I say finish, they're just a little bit like glittery. There's like a little bit of like micro glitter in there, and it's just not my favorite. And then here is Hollow Gold, which in the pan I thought, oh, would be perfect, but it really comes off very, very pink, like super duper pink. And then there's all those like little glitters in there. So these just aren't my favorite. They're just not really my thing. There's really nothing wrong with them. They're not the right tone for me, and I don't personally like the finish. So those were kind of a bust for me. And then I also hauled the Armani limited edition Lunar New Year highlighter. This is the one that has the imprint of the dog, which looks like a pug. And I love the case. I love the imprint, but this highlighter is garbage. It's kind of like hard pressed in the pan, so you pick up very little product. And then when you look at the powder in the pan, you see little gold sparkles in there, but you hardly see that come across on the skin. It's like you get a couple glitters here and there. It's just very bad. This is just not a good powder at all, but I held on to it for the packaging and just for a collector's sake. So I'm glad I have it, but I never use it because it's just not a good highlighter. All right, and then last but not least, this is when I hauled a bunch of Linda Hallberg stuff. So I wanted to do a dedicated video to all the crayons that I had purchased and then this Metallic Mysteries eyeshadow palette. So the reason why I didn't, and now I just feel like the moment has passed, is I think that these crayons make my eyes itchy. And that's not to say anything disparaging against Linda Hallberg. You know, I don't want to say that my skin and my eyes are sensitive. They're just picky. They just, for some reason, sometimes things just bug them. And I thought for a while that it was my allergies. So I kind of put these crayons aside. Allergy season passed. I felt like normal again. I tried them again and my eyes felt like a little bit itchy. They felt a little bit irritated. So, you know, I didn't want to make a dedicated video and just say, these make my eyes itchy, I can never use them again. So I just sort of like let the moment pass. But when I did use these, they did not budge at all. These are great, great crayons. And I haven't heard anyone else say that it bugs their eyes. So I definitely feel like I'm in the minority, if maybe the only person in the entire world. Give these a shot because these are one of the few eye pencils that I've used that do not budge. So I would recommend these, even though they make my eyes just a wee bit itchy. This Metallic Mysteries palette is super, super cool. Admittedly, I haven't used it that often because I don't wear really kind of like shiny, flashy eye looks very often. And I know you can use these anywhere on your face, but none of these shades work on my particular face or the looks that I'm going for, but they are really, really cool. Like this collision color, this is like basically like a gold glitter that's pressed in there. It is really neat. So hold on, let me just swatch them all. These shadows are amazing. They're just a lot of fun. So when I am going for a funky look or a more, you know, brighter, fun look, I have definitely reached for this palette. This gold one, I really love. It's a lot of fun because it's kind of like a glitter. I like pressing it over something that's darker and it just kind of like adds this like a glitter top coat kind of idea. All right, so let's pop on over to my January 24th haul. This is the one that I did when I went to visit New York City. And I think I've talked a lot about these things, but it'll be nice to kind of talk about them all in relation to the actual haul. So the first thing on the list is the Burberry Earthy Blush. I was so excited to get this. In the pan, I feel like it looks like my perfect blush, the blush that can like double as contour, or like if you just want to put one product on your cheek, this is something that I would reach for. But for some reason on my cheek, it ends up reading a lot more warm than neutral. And in fact, on my hand, it looks fine. But when I brush it onto my cheek, it ends up being less nude and more peach. So I don't know. I just haven't reached for it as much as I thought, even though the peach is fine. It's just not what I purchased it for. So has that happened to any of you guys that have this blush? This is the Earthy Blush number 7 Light Glow Natural Blush from Burberry. Let me know. I'm just curious. This Burberry Rose Gold Highlighter, on the other hand, this is amazing. And in fact, I wanted to go out and get all the colors of their highlighters. This is such a beautiful highlighter. It has that wonderful, like wet looking sheen. I don't use it that often because I feel like I'm always testing like a new highlighter that's coming out. But if I'm ever kind of like digging through my collection, kind of just like looking for something, I'll reach for this. This is a really good one. And then I also picked up the Burberry Lip Contour in number 2 Light. This is really nice. I was using this a lot. I feel like right after I purchased this, I took this like on a couple trips and it came in really handy because it's just a great nude lip color. But then I kind of put it away and I haven't reached for it since, but absolutely nothing wrong with it. I love the texture. It's creamy. It kind of dries down to almost like a matte lipstick, like a demi matte. It's not fully matte. So it's really nice. It's just a really nice kind of basic lip color. All right, next up is the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Au Naturel. This is another one I feel, and this is really dirty. This is another one I feel like right after I hauled it, I was using it incessantly because I think I was traveling a lot that winter, and this was another one. It was just easy to pack, and this I felt like was just a great one color eye look. I can just kind of like rub this all over my lid, kind of smudge it out with my finger, and then, you know, use like a liner or something for a little bit more definition. But this was great, and it's, You know, and for travel, you really just can't beat this. You don't need a brush. You don't have to worry about it like breaking or anything in your bag. So this was great for travel. And in fact, I'm going on a trip next week and I may bring this. I also purchased the Armani Lip Maestro in 200. I had just purchased 202, which is a more nude color. This one is a little bit darker, but I fell in love with this formula. It's so comfortable. And for me, it was just such a different kind of formula where it dried down basically to like this velvety matte, but it just doesn't feel like it. It's also not transfer proof. So I had purchased the 202, which is like my perfect nude. I love it. You guys always comment whenever I wear it. You're like, what is that on your lips? Can't recommend it enough. So obviously I need another color from the line, and this one was like another neutral. There are a lot of like reds, corals, and like pinks in the line. So I think 200 and 202, this one, are like the most like nude, like brown based colors. So I had to pick this up. I still love this. And while I haven't worn this color in a while, I feel like in the fall, I'll be whipping this color back out. It's really gorgeous. Oh, and then I got the Chantecaille Year of the Dog highlighter. So this is a similar situation to the Armani one. I even kept it in the box because I don't use it. It's not that great. It comes in their really beautiful pebble packaging. It has an imprint of a wolf on the inside here. And it had this great overspray of like an iridescence, but when you get down to the actual highlighter, the texture feels great, at least, unlike the Armani where it was just a little bit too hard pressed. But this, as a highlighter, it's just way too subtle, and it's almost just more like a brightening powder. If you see a little bit of iridescence there, that's just the overspray. And again, it's a little bit too like white for my skin. Those highlighters are way too obvious on my skin tone, but I kept it because I really like the wolf imprint. This was limited edition. If you didn't get it and you regret it, don't regret it. Not a great powder, no biggie. And then next I picked up this kaleidoscope from Le Métier de Beauté. This is in Flash Phenomenon, and I just liked the idea of these. They were just, you know, they're just really cool. The packaging is really cool. This is the one that has like the 4 pans that come out. They swing open and swing out. And again, I thought this would be great for travel. And then up top, there is that mirror. So I have not used this much at all. So this first color is a nice highlighter. I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch it. It's a nice highlighter. It's very creamy. And then these other colors are too dark for my face. So I would use them on my eyes, but then I never reach for this for my eyes. So I don't have anything against these products. I just don't reach for them that often because I think in my mind, like, I don't know what I want to use this for. So right now, for some reason, it's sitting in my blush drawer. So I think what I need to do is move this into like my eyeshadow drawer and use these colors as eyeshadow, because I think they would make really beautiful eyeshadows. Look at that. Like, it's like a metallic cocoa bronze color. And then this one is just like a more warm coppery color. They're really, really pretty. And I think I just need to, like, you know, do the brain shift and think of them as eyeshadows, which I think they probably are. So I don't know what I've been doing with my life. Oh, the Retrouvé Luminous Cleansing Elixir. That's sitting in my bathroom. I talked about this during my last trash talk, which was my empties video. This is the best cleanser I have used probably ever. I think I can say that with confidence. It's just absolutely amazing. It comes out in a pump. It basically feels like if you use like a solid cleansing balm and you basically like warm it up and it kind of starts to liquefy, that's what this is already in the form of. It's like already kind of like liquefied cleansing balm. It goes onto your skin. There's absolutely no fragrance. It goes onto your skin. It's thick, so it's not like this mess. I put it on my skin when it's dry. I take a warm washcloth. I wipe it off. My face is totally clean, completely free of makeup, and there's like zero residue. Like zero residue. Every other cleanser I've used, I feel like, especially if I use like an oil-based one or like a cold cream type of one, I always feel a little something. And it's never bothered me in the past until I started using this one, where I was like, oh my God, like this is the way my face is supposed to feel after I cleanse. It also, like, even if I get it into my eyes, I don't get that cloudy thing. It doesn't sting my eyes. I don't recommend like sticking it in your eyes. I don't think it's eye safe, but I've never had any problems around my eyes, like cleaning up like my eyeliner with it or whatever. It is great. It is wonderful. And again, I think this could be the best cleanser I have ever purchased. So I can't speak highly enough for this cleansing elixir. It is amazing. All right, and then I hauled a couple of things, well, a few things from Gucci. The Spicy Petal Blush, I think I talked about this a lot. This definitely ended up in at least one of my favorites. Still love it. Love the color, love the sheen. It has a little bit of like a satiny sheen. It's just gorgeous. So that's Spicy Petal. All right, and then I got a couple of eyeshadow products. So this is the Eyeshadow Mono in Iconic Bronze. I use this maybe twice. I really love the quality of it. I just thought that it was going to have a little bit more of a brown base, but it comes off on my eyes very, very orangey. But I just thought it was going to be a little bit more of a deeper shade, but it ends up being very just straight up kind of like orange sparkle on my eyes. Not to say that that's not great, but this is definitely not a color that I wear every day. So I really don't reach for this that often. And then this quad in Crystal Copper, I have never reached for. And in fact, I forgot I had it until just now. So it's this quad right here. Again, this color is a little bit too orangey for me, but the rest are really pretty, but I just never reach for it. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Gucci and the beauty line. I feel like I'm seeing things kind of go out of stock and then they're just like not there anymore. And we have a Gucci area with the makeup in our Neiman Marcus here at the Fashion Show Mall, and I heard that they're closing that one down. I don't know what's going on with the beauty line. I don't know if they're revamping it, which I hope that's what they're doing. I hope they're not just like discontinuing everything. That would be a real shame, especially now that Gucci has gotten like so popular again. But anyway, that's just a sidebar. So next on my list is a bunch of Decorté stuff. The Sheer Brilliance Tinted SPF, I did a whole video, dedicated video on this with like a wear test and everything. I did not like it at all. The SPF really showed through and it was very, very dry by the end of the day. Do not recommend that. The Decorté Vifusion Essence Serum, that is sitting in my bathroom. I use that every night. I'm still on the same bottle. So it's been 6 months. I use 2 pumps every single night. If I feel like I need a little extra something, I'll even use it in the mornings, but I use it every single night and I still have it. And I love it. It makes my skin feel so soft. I really love it. And then the Decorté Soft Perfecting Powder. This is, I don't think for me. I've held on to it in hopes that it'll work, but it is very fine and it just makes me look super dry. I feel like it just kind of like sucks all the moisture out of my skin, even though it's really kind of silky and I don't feel like I pick up a lot when I use my finger. For some reason, it goes on very heavily. It's a really interesting powder, and I think if you have oily skin, this could be your best friend. But for me, I don't think it works. And then the Decorté Lip Palette in Nude. I love the colors in here, but I just never use lip palettes. I'm trying to get into it because I see a lot of lip palettes coming out, especially from NARS. They came out with one during the Erdem collaboration, and I passed on it because I was like, I just don't use them, but it was so beautiful. And I think NARS is coming out with yet another lip palette for the fall collection, and I'm like, oh, I really need to use it. And I do think it's really handy. You have like, 8, 10 different colors in this one palette. And again, I'm always thinking about travel, and it would be such a great thing to have for travel. So while I don't have anything against this particular lip palette, I just don't reach for it that often. So anyway, that's kind of a shame. And in fact, I think I may just put this on my vanity and see if I will use it. All right, so that's it for this video. Those are all the things that I hauled in January. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please comment down below if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I will see you in my next video.